Hello friends, subscribers and new viewers of this channel, and welcome to Machine Learning and AI Tutorials. The tutorial that you're currently watching is maybe one of the most important tutorials on my YouTube channel, and here's the reason why. Namely, on my YouTube channel, you can find a large number of tutorials explaining how to install and run locally large language models. However, so far, I didn't explain how to integrate these large language models into an AI agent and to develop a complete system that will perform a complex AI task. And in this tutorial, I will thoroughly address that problem. That is, I will explain how to integrate large language models and how to create an AI agent that will perform a complex task. To demonstrate how to create an AI agent and how to integrate local models, in this video tutorial I'm going to consider a specific task. Namely, let us assume that someone gave us a task to develop an application that will retrieve the current weather and temperature information and display it over here. Namely, the user enters in this chat window a question. For example, what is the current weather in Houston? Let's see what happens. And if you enter this, let's see what will happen. The current weather in Houston is 2 Celsius with moderate humidity, overcast skies, and no chance of rain. It's recommended to wear a light jacket or sweater for comfort. Now, over here, I created an AI agent that, on the basis of the user inputs and on the basis of the Llama chat models, goes online, goes to the Open Weather application, then retrieves the information, downloads that information, and then the large language model processes this information and prints it out over here. In addition to this, I asked the large language model internally to give a recommendation what to wear. And you can see the response over here. It's recommended to wear a light jacket or sweater for comfort. So for example, let's ask this. What is the weather in Seoul? Let's go outside of the US, since I have a lot of viewers coming from Korea, and you can see the current weather in Seoul is almost 0 Celsius with low humidity. So let's now verify that. Let's go here, press F5, and we can see that the response is almost the same. This is really important. So let's go back and let's verify the humidity, and humidity is almost the same. I developed this agent by using a very popular framework for agent development. The name of this framework is n8n. And as you can see over here, you actually don't need to code to develop an agent. However, you still have to know a lot of things and you have to understand how large language models work. Now, this is the main window or the block diagram of my agent. Here's my chat. Here's my first Llama chat model. Here's my memory. Here I'm also specifying to my agent that the agent can use Wikipedia. And over here is a very important block. And this block over here calls another agent to show you that other agent, namely if I click here and if I click here, you'll see the weather agent I created. Over here, the input, or better to say text from the previous agent is passed. This text is parsed over here. Then over here, I'm calling Open Weather Map. This is an external application that contains an API, and you can call this weather application and you can retrieve the weather in any city. Namely, you can do it manually by going here and, for example, entering Irvine in California, and you will see the response over here. However, the agent is doing this automatically. It retrieves this information. Then if you go back, this information is parsed over here. Then it's being sent to a Llama chat model. Then this model will extract over here weather information, temperature information, and as you can see over here, I'm asking this model to formulate a string that describes the weather on the basis of the temperature and description. The response should include temperature, humidity, and description. Also, the response should give advice what to wear. And we only should return the string. Here it is. Let me save this since I'm still updating this model. And over here, we are parsing back this information like this. We are sending back to the original agent, that is to this agent over here, and we are displaying this information in this chat over here. In this video tutorial, I'm going to thoroughly teach you how to develop this agent. That is, I will explain all the steps that you need to perform. First of all, I'm going to explain how to install N8N. Then I will explain how to install Ollama. Then, if you see over here, I'm using Llama 3.2 latest as a large language model. Then I'm going to explain how to install this large language model. And finally, I will explain how to create this block diagram and this agent flow. So prepare yourself. This tutorial is going to be very interesting. For clarity and for demonstration purposes, in this video tutorial, I'm going to explain how to develop an intelligent weather application. However, everything explained in this video tutorial can easily be generalized to develop any type of AI agent that can search internet, retrieve information, analyze the data, and show the response. Okay, let's start with installation of N8N. First of all, to install N8N on a Windows computer, you need to download and install node.js. To do that, go to this website and simply click on here to download the node.js, save it, and then let's open the file and let's double click over here and the installation will start. Let's click on next, accept the user agreement, click on next, keep this default folder, click on next, click on next. Now, over here, you have this option automatically install the necessary tools. Note that this will also install Chocolati. The script will pop up in a new window after the installation completes. And this is necessary since some NPM modules need to be compiled from C, C++ when installing. If you want to be able to install such modules, some tools, Python, Visual Studio Builds tools, need to be installed. So click over here and click on next and click on install. Now, the whole process might take a while, so be patient. I'm going to lead you through this process. Now, I noticed that during this installation, after you click finish, this script will be executed. So press any key, press again, and over here you will see the bunch of things will be installed in this window. Now, what I noticed is that sometimes these installations might be abrupted due to some reason. However, don't worry if it gets stuck or something, just press Ctrl+C and you can continue. I have already installed these additional tools, so I don't need to perform this step. However, in your case, you will need to do that. Next, we need to install N8N. To do that, simply click here and search for command prompt, open the command prompt, and over here in this command prompt, you just need to execute this command. So let me show you. This means that we will globally install. And let's see what will happen. Now, the installation might take a while and consequently be patient. It took around 2 minutes to install N8N. To start N8N, you simply need to type this command. So let's copy this, let's go here, paste and bang, and let's see what will happen. Okay, so let's see what is happening. We can see that editor is now accessible on this local address. So how to start this local address? Well, there are several ways. You can simply copy this. So select and copy, then go to your web browser. For example, let's use this web browser, paste this address, and bang, here we are. Here you need to set up your account. You need to enter email, first name, last name, and password. And next, click on next. And here you are. What's best describes your company, select over here which role best describes you, and over here I'm just going to select other. I'm going to say that I'm in education industry, other, for example. It really doesn't matter. Let's, for example, select, let me see, do they have education here? Let's say manufacturing, which best describes you. So let's put IT, for example. What are you looking to automate? Other stuff, for example, learn AI. Who will your automations mainly be for? Myself. How big is your company? I'm not using this for work. How do you learn? Other. And let's get started over here. And over here you can click to send a free license key, which is a very nice topic, although I already got it and it's being selected to send to my email address. And over here, if you go to your email address, if you click on that license key, it will be automatically activated and you will have full functionality over here. So do that. After you click on the activation key from your email, you will be directed to this web page, and over here you will see that you're on the community edition and you can start using the program. Now you can see that 2 sessions are open. You can close one of these sessions and you can continue. So let's close this section. Let's go to back to workflow, and from here we will start. The next step is to install Llama such that we can run our large language models locally. Consequently, go to the Llama website, then click over here on download, click on Windows and download from Windows. And this will download the Llama installation file. And over here you need to be patient. Let's wait until the file is downloaded. Let's click here and let's go to the download folders, or just click here and let's see our download folder. Let's just wait for a while until Llama installation file appears. After Llama installation file appears, it's very simple to install. Simply click here on Llama setup and the installation will start. The installation is pretty straightforward. You will just have to click several times and that's it. So click install and that's it. Llama will be installed. However, here again you need to be patient. Next, let's verify that Llama is running. To do that, click here, search for command prompt, open the command prompt, and in the command prompt type Llama, and you should see this general response if Llama is installed properly. The next step is to download and install a large language model that will be executed locally on our computer. To do that, here in models, search for the model you like. In this video tutorial, I'm using NVIDIA 3090 GPU, and my GPU can run very smoothly Llama 3.2 models. In fact, most likely, even in your case, if you have a weaker GPU, you will be able to execute this small model. Of course, if you have a more powerful GPU, you can try some other models such as Llama 3.3 or 5.4 or even DeepSeek. So here, click and search for Llama 3.2 and click here. Then go to this page and then over here, click here to copy this, go back to terminal, and in this terminal paste this. However, don't execute it, just type pull instead of run. Why I'm doing this? Because I just want to download the model and I don't want to execute the models after downloading them. I will manually execute them later on. And after some time you will see this message, let's test the model. Simply type Llama list to see the model, and over here copy the model name and type Llama run and this model over here, and the model will be executed. So let's test the model and see how it works. However, let's be patient over here and let's see what happens, because right now we are loading the model. And let's ask, who are you? And let's see, good. We got the response. Let's exit. We can simply type bye, I think, and we are out. Good. The next step is to set up our online system for retrieving weather information. In this tutorial, we are going to use OpenWeather website to retrieve the weather information. So why I'm using this website? Well, this website has an API access. That is, you can access this weather information by using Python code or by using an agent. However, to access this weather information, you need to register the account with OpenWeather in order to get API password. For those of you who are not familiar with the API is a password that enables you to access the database and real information from different websites as well as large language models. Now, OpenWeather is completely free. So let's explain how to register the account. Okay, go to openweathermap.org, then click on sign in. Then over here, click on create an account, enter your username, enter email, password, repeat, password select over here. I am 16 years old and over, I agree, and create account. After you log in, you will see this screen, then click over here, then click on My API Keys, and you will see your default API key. Over here, you can see my API key. However, I will deactivate it after this video tutorial, so no one except me can use it. However, in your case, use your own API key. Now, after installing n8n, after installing Llama, after downloading and installing the model, and after setting the account and API with OpenWeather Map, we can proceed with creating our first agent. So here's the story. First, we are going to create an agent that will receive a city name, and on the basis of this city name, the agent will call OpenWeather Map and it will return the weather and the temperature information. And more than that, this agent will also give us, for example, a recommendation what we should wear. Okay, so let's start. So let's click here on Start from Scratch. And over here, let's create our first step. We're going to create a block that will receive an input, that is, it's going to receive information about the city from another agent. So let's click here. And over here, you have several options. You need to select when executed by another workflow. That is, by selecting over here, we are saying that we want this agent to be executed by another agent or triggered by another agent. So let's keep the settings as they are for the time being. And for the time being, you can ignore this warning. Next, we need to create another block that will extract the input information from this block. To do that, click here and search for Edit. And click on Edit Fields, or you can just search for Edit Fields Set. And let's explain what will happen over here. This block has to extract the information. Click on Add Field over here. Then here, type the city name. And here, since I'm just testing this agent, I'm going to specify a particular city name. That is, I'm going to specify New York. Later on, we're going to change this name to a variable. Consequently, keep in mind not to run the agent like this, since it's not going to work at the end. You will have to modify here and you will have to specify a variable name. And I'm going to explain that later on in this video tutorial. So click here and let's see what happens over here. All things are set. Click here to be back to canvas, then double click here, make sure that everything is set properly, go back again, and the next step is to create a block that will access the OpenWeather map. Consequently, click here and search for OpenWeather map. Here it is, and over here you have two options. You have the option to return the current weather data or to return weather data for the next 5 days. Let's click here to return the current weather data, and over here you need to set your account. I already have the account over here, however I'm going to first erase it such that you can such that we can be on the same page. That is, when you open this block, you will see this thing. So you need to click on select credential and then click on create a new credential, and over here you need to enter the API. So let's retrieve the API, go back to the website, log in, then after you log in, click over here, click on my API keys and simply copy this API key. Don't use my API key since I'm going to erase it after this video tutorial. Create your own API key. Now, once you copy this API key, go back over here and paste your API key and then save. And the connection will be tested and you can see credentials successfully created. This means that you were able to successfully access the online website. Good. Let's continue. Next, here you have the operation current weather. Then you have the format. I'm going to keep the metric format. However, if you like Fahrenheit, click on Fahrenheit. And then over here, we need to do several adjustments. We need to specify the city name. However, the city name is not just any name. The city name is a variable, and this city name is passed by the previous block. So let's click over here and let's see what happens. In reality, this is not going to be New York. It's going to be a variable or the string received from this part. Then this block is going to extract that thing and send to the open weather map. Good. So over here in the open weather map, we need to specify a string. So let me show you the string name. Before we enter the city name over here as a variable, let me show you how to figure out the name. Now, go over here. Now go back and click to this on this first block. And the error over here comes from the fact that we don't have the data, since we don't have another agent that will pass information. So click here to set the mock data. And over here you can see the mock data over here. Good. So let's save this. Let's click here. And now if you click here, you can test this step and let's see what will happen. Okay, so this is what comes in, name, first item, and code. And this is what comes out, city name, New York, city name, New York. Don't be confused by the fact that over here we have two things that are being repeated. It really doesn't matter since we have two items over here. Okay, but this is very important. So let's click over here, and immediately over here you will see the input. The input will appear to this block. So if you click here on JSON, you will see this name over here. It's going to be the city name. Now, how you're going to tell to this open weather map to properly format this name? Well, you simply need to type this, JSON city name. So this is how you code that, and you will see that immediately expression is being activated. So if this thing is pressed, you will see the error. The expression needs to be pressed, and you can see that everything is properly parsed. That is, you're accessing this JSON data structure and you're accessing or retrieving the city name, and it's precisely New York. So let's now call this thing. Let's press here and bang. Voila, magic happened. So by test step, we actually retrieved the information from our website, and you can see precisely the information. You can see longitude, latitude, you can see the current weather, you can see a bunch of things, the temperature in Celsius, etc. This is very important, and we can proceed further. Now, this JSON or table, or however you like to formulate it, data structure will be passed to another block. So let's create that block. Okay, next let's exit this back to canvas, and over here let's do the following. Click here and search for edit again. Edit fields, and over here let's adjust. Click here, just specify the value, however make it to be expression, and over here you need to specify this. Okay, so let's specify this, make sure that it's a value. Good, and let's test further, and here we are. Good, awesome. Good. So let's go back to Canvas, and the next step is to create a block that will call Ollama. To add intelligence to our agent, that is to add a large language model, you need to click here and then search for basic LLM chain and click here, then immediately go back and make sure that everything is connected. And let me show you what you need to adjust. So double click over here, and over here, first of all, click here and click on define below. So what we need to specify over here, we need to specify a prompt. That is, we need to explain to our large language model what the large language model should receive and how to respond. Okay, so let me show you one important thing. You need to act on the information provided over here at the input. So how to retrieve the JSON formulation as a variable of this input? Well, if you click here, and if you click here, and if you click on copy parameter path, and if you paste it here, and if you click on expression, you will see that you can access everything over here. And that's the trick. This is how we can access everything. And let's type text over here. So over here, to save time, I already prepared everything. So let me type this. First of all, you received this text over here. So let's expand this so we can better type. So you received this text, and this is the text you received. And from this text, let me just copy this part. And from this text, you should extract temperature, city location, and human understandable weather description. So that's the prompt. This is what our large language model should do. Good. Now, over here, we need to be more specific. So let's add the chat message. So click here, and over here I'm going to specify the user, and let's specify what we need to do. Now again, to save time, I will copy this format over here, and here's the message. So let's expand. Formulate a string that describes the weather on the basis of the temperature and description. The response should include temperature, humidity, and description. Also, the response should give advice on what to wear. Return only the string and not the description of your task. And this is very important. So what we'll do right now, on the basis of this prompt over here, that is on the basis of this received information and on the basis of these instructions over here, our large language model should extract information, create a paragraph, and pass this paragraph further in the AI chain. Okay, so we did this first step. However, we need to add a large language model. So let's learn how to do that. First of all, go back to Canvas and click here on the model. Then over here, search for Llama chat model, or you can select Ollama model. So let's start with Ollama chat model. And over here, you need to select credentials. So click here and click on create credentials. And here is one issue. Now, let me explain you what will happen right now. If you click on save, you'll see that could not connect with these settings. And if you do retry, nothing will happen. So the issue here is with the local host. Namely, if you copy this local host and if you paste here, you'll see that Ollama is running. However, for some reason, this software over here cannot access this local host like this. So you need to do one very important modification. And honestly speaking, it took me basically several hours to figure out what's the problem. And here is the solution. Now, instead of these numbers and this address, you need to type this. And if you now click on save and retry, you will see that the connection tested successfully. For some reason, this program doesn't like the original local host. You need to be more specific, and here you can see that Ollama is running. Okay, so we are good. This is very important step. Now, what's happening behind the scene, I will show you later on. You're directly accessing the Llama model. However, let's verify that this is properly being set up. So let's go over here, and over here we need to verify that the model is Llama 3.2. Namely, if you click here, you'll see that the model is automatically recognized. If you have more models over here, all the models will be recognized. And we are all set. So let's close this and let's see what happens. Okay, now let's double click here and let's test everything. So test tab and let's see what happens. Let's cross our fingers and let's see what happens. Good. The current weather, and you can see weather in New York is, this is the temperature, humidity, so wear warm clothing for the current temperature. And you can see that our AI agent works like a charm, works perfectly, precisely what we want. Here is the output and we need to proceed further with this output. Okay, so let's go back to Canvas, and over here we need to add two more blocks. So over here, click on Edit, Field Set, then over here, click again, and let's see what happens. However, before we do that, let's make sure that this block is properly connected. It is. And over here, let's click on Expression, and let's paste this. So let me now just be more precise what I'm doing. I need to use these things here. And then you can see what's being extracted. So we are just extracting the result, that is the output from our previous block. And you can see it over here. And let's test everything. Let's see what will be extracted. We will have the current weather and we will have the formulated output. Perfect. Let's go back and let's continue. Next, let's save this agent by clicking here, and let's call this agent as weather agent, and let's proceed further. Now, here is one very important comment, and always keep in mind this. If you double click here, you will see that the city name is fixed variable. That is, it's equal to New York. However, we want to change this such that we receive the value that's being passed by another agent. That is, that's being set by the user. We are going to adjust this at the end. Keep in mind that if you run the agent like this, it will always return you the results for New York. Keep in mind this. We are going to adjust this at the end. Next, let's proceed further. Click here on Overview and let's create a new one. Click on Create Workflow, and here's the agent that will call the weather agent. First of all, let's click here, and over here we need to select on Chat Message. And let's keep it as it is, back to Canvas, and here it is. This is the entry point for our user. If we double click over here, or if we open the chat, the user can enter the message and this message will be passed further. Next, let's look at the block diagram of our agent. Here we need to add another block called AI agent. So let's do that. Click here and search for AI agent. Here it is. This is a very general form of the AI agent. It's tools agent. It's connected to the chat trigger node. This is the prompt. This is the general form of the prompt. And let's keep it as it is. And let's go back to Canvas. So let's adjust the chat model. If we click over here, let's search for Llama and let's use the Llama chat model. You can see that everything is built automatically set up. This is the model that we have previously used. Click here. Then let's set up the memory. Click here and let's click on Windows buffered memory. So what is this memory? This memory will enable to our model and to our AI to remember what's being asked previously. That is, we don't need to always repeat everything. It will have a short-term or long-term memory. Let's change the memory here to 10, for example. How many past interaction the model receives as context. Let's keep 10 such that the model knows what's the context and what we are talking about. This is very, very important. Okay, now over here, go back to Canvas, you need to click on the tool. First of all, let's select the tool that's Basic Wikipedia. Here I'm setting Wikipedia since I want to enable my model to access some wide range of topics. So let's click here, let's search for a Wikipedia. Here it is, and here's the Wikipedia block. Let's not change anything and let's go back to Canvas. So we have Wikipedia. And the next step is a crucial one. We need to tell to our AI agent to use another AI agent or the tool we just created. That is, let's save this workflow and let's go to overview. We want to tell to agent inside of my workflow to use the weather agent. That is to use this cute agent we just defined. So let's do that. Next, click on my workflow, then click over here and click on call n8n workflow tool. Then let's call it as weather, and let's describe what this tool should do. That is, let's give instructions to our agent when to call this tool, and this is the crucial step. Now over here you should be very precise. You should say this: use this tool when the user asks for the weather information or for the temperature information or for the humidity information. Okay, so we can start with this. However, you can maybe just stick to this thing. Use this tool when the user asks for the weather information. You might not need to add this. However, try to be as much as general as you can over here. And here comes the crucial step. If you click here from list, you can choose and you will find our weather agent. Amazing. You just click here and bang. That's it. Okay. This is really amazing. And let's see what's written over here. This sub workflow will not receive any input when called by your AI node. Define your expected input in the sub workflows trigger. Okay, we will adjust this later on. So let's adjust this. Now, if you click here on sub workflows trigger, you will be automatically directed to the weather agent. So what's the issue over here? Well, the issue is over here. If you click here, you need to select input data mode. Then I'm going to use accept all data. For me, that might be the most simplest approach. And let's go here and let's save and let's go back. Okay, let's make sure that everything is okay here and let's proceed further. Okay, make sure that you save everything and let's start with testing. Now, as I mentioned previously, in the first iteration, the AI agent will not work. Now, before we start with testing, let's not forget to do one additional thing. Double click over here, and over here, click on Add option and put the system message, your helpful assistant. Just make sure that you have that. And close this and save. So let's see again. Everything is fine. Let's start testing. So click here and click to open the chat. And let's ask the question, are you working? And let's see, bang. And let's see what will happen. Hopefully we will not see any error. Okay, we can see this. The current AI system is online and ready to assist with your question. What would you like to know or discuss? Now let's see what happened over here. So let's see what Llama chat model is giving. System, you're a helpful assistant. Human, are you working? Let's see what happened here. Here's the query, weather in New York City, and this is being sent. So this point over here is automatically being generated. Weather in New York City, because we hard-coded New York City. Let's see Wikipedia, nothing about Wikipedia. Llama chat model works in our AI agent as it should. And let's now adjust the second step. First of all, let's ask a question. What is the weather in, for example, somewhere where it's warm? Where it's very warm, let's say, or let's say Los Angeles. Now, since this model is not working properly, you're returning the New York City weather. and this is what we need to adjust. So if you remember correctly, we need to adjust this as follows. Let's make sure everything is saved here. Then let's click here on overview, click on the weather agent, and here comes the issue. Double click here and let's see what happens here. Here we are hard coding New York City. However, we need to extract the name of the city that's being passed to this field. Here, instead of New York, type this, json.query, and I'm going to explain you later on how I found this. Okay, make sure that this is actually expression, although this might look like an error, it's not. You will see it later on. Okay, so let's click here, let's save this, then let's go here, let's click on my workflow, let's open a chat, and let's ask the question, what is the weather in Los Angeles? And bang. Let's see what happens. Voila, the current weather in Los Angeles is 13.5 Celsius. You can see the humidity. It's recommended to wear layers of the chilly morning and a light jacket for a comfortable day. In fact, weather in LA is perfect. I really like it. Okay, so let's verify that this is correct. So let's go to Google, weather, for example, Los Angeles. So let's see, and let's see in Celsius 11, and that's similarly to what this program gave us. So it works really, really good. So let's do another test. For example, what is the weather in Houston? Let's see. Bang. And you can see immediately what happens. The current weather in Houston is clear with a temperature of -3. So let's do this, weather Houston, and let's see what happens. Perfect. This works like a charm. Okay, that would be all for today. I hope that you like this video. If you like the videos I'm creating, please press the like and subscribe buttons and consider to support this channel. That's all, and see you in the next video tutorial. In the next video tutorial, I'm going to continue with covering the topics related to AI agents and large language model. In fact, I will spend a lot of time explaining how to integrate large language models inside of this amazing workflow.